Jr. I know they placed the franchise tag on him.
Yeah.
I really thought that the Colts could have been a landing spot for Mike Evans. Now, we know Mike Evans a few days ago signed that extension with the Bucs. I thought the Colts could have been a place for him. Even if they come up with, a long-term solution for Pittman, I think they need to go out there and get a wide receiver. Maybe it's in the draft, because apparently it's also a pretty deep draft for wide receivers.
It really is, yeah. And Pittman, that was good to put the franchise tag on him. They're going to get that deal worked out. Jonathan Taylor's already in the mix. I'll say this. When you talk about Anthony Richardson and putting him in the best position to succeed, he needs to put himself in the best position to succeed as well. He can't think that he's at Florida and he's going to run over guys that aren't never going to see Sundays, right? I mean, he's going to be playing on Sundays against guys that are in the league, right? He's got to realize
grown men.
Exactly. It's a little bit different than it was when he was in the SEC. So he went into the league and not knowing. I mean, he's a rookie, so of course we talked about sit him or start him. They started him. He didn't know what to expect. He went in there acting like it was Florida, and well, he got a concussion early on, and then he got the season-ending injury, so he didn't play very much. And remember, with Anthony Richardson, that was the big knock on him. He had only had 13 career starts at Florida, so the thing he needed the most is the one thing he did not get his rookie year, which is experience.
A little different running over a grown man playing linebacker in the NFL compared to, someone who looks like the kid who sits next to you in English 101 on a Tuesday morning.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit different when the guy that's going to eventually be working at the gas station is trying to get out of the way because you're about to run him over, as opposed to a guy that's a middle linebacker that is, getting paid top dollar and is a Pro Bowler multiple times over. So, yeah, it's different. Anthony Richardson's got to, change his game up a little bit. Gardner Minshew came in big for them. I thought that was great that they assigned him. Shane Steichen, their head coach there, obviously was familiar with him with their time with the Eagles. So Gardner Minshew showed his worth for the Eagles. And also, that's what it kind of was the theme of the year, I felt like. Backup quarterbacks all showed their worth, as over 60 guys played the quarterback position in the NFL in 2023. You got to have a good backup. Minshew is that guy.
They're probably also looking at maybe a little bit of help in the defensive secondary. And there are a couple options out there, Xavier Howard from the Miami Dolphins, he was released. They are not bringing him back. That ship has sailed. Yeah. Xavier Howard, you could probably get at a decent price, He's not the guy he was a few years ago, but if you're looking to help, he could be that guy. Maybe you want to make a big splash if you're the Colts. Do you pick up the phone and call the Kansas City Chiefs about L'Jarius Sneed? I don't know. I can't predict the future here, Q, but those are a couple of options there at defensive back.
I like it. A couple good options there for the Indianapolis Colts. How about team number 2?
The Seattle Seahawks.
All right, they're in some transition right now. They're cutting guys left and right. If you're a safety on the Seattle Seahawks roster, watch out. Jamal Adams, he's out. Quandre Diggs, he's out. And that Jamal Adams deal never ended up being a good deal for the Seattle Seahawks. I hate that. I like Jamal Adams a lot, but injury is one of those things you just can't avoid, and he wasn't able to avoid it. So he's out. Diggs, who's actually a really good safety, I thought, he's out. The Seahawks have a little bit over $41 million in cap space, according to overthecap.com, and they're picking number 16 overall. I think the biggest issue is they needed to identify if they're going to continue with this Geno Smith experiment or they're going to go and get another quarterback at some point. But they still have a couple other holes that they need to fill as well.
Yeah, the Jamal Adams trade was a total disaster. Not just because Jamal Adams didn't work out there, but giving up 2 first-round picks for a safety. It's not a premier position in the National Football League. It was even if Jamal Adams played well for them, it was not a good trade. So they got some cleaning up to do there in Seattle. And the thing is, like you mentioned, Geno Smith there, also Drew Lock. What are you going to do there? But here's the thing. The Seahawks, coming off a 9-win season, they feel to me like they're kind of in that mediocrity purgatory. They're too bad to be good, and they're too good to be bad. And that's the worst place you could be in professional sports right now. I feel they're very, very middling under new head coach now, Mike Macdonald.
That's what I want to see, is what this new Seattle Seahawks looks like, right? I mean, just because we're so used to seeing Pete Carroll up and down the sidelines chewing that gum, being real aggressive, you know what Pistol Pete is all about. So I want to see what it's going to look like now under Mike Macdonald. We saw what he did in Baltimore last year as a defensive coordinator. It looked great. In Seattle, Seattle going to kind of look like that as well? Are they going to have a different identity? John Snyder and him seem like they got a lot of work to do. Saw Snyder at the combine last week, and he looked like he was up tempo. He was excited. He was fired up for the opportunity. It's going to be interesting to see what the new Seattle Seahawks look like.
I would take one of the quarterbacks in the middle of that first round at number 16. I mean, the top three are probably going to go top three in the draft, but you got other options there. I mean, if you're not comfortable enough at number 16, you can move down a few slots and still grab one of those guys. Is it McCarthy? Is it Penix? I don't know. But
that'd be cool, right? Wouldn't Penix be kind of cool just to stay in this? I mean, he played at Washington and then just to go to Seattle, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, give me something to be excited about if I'm a Seahawks fan. And it's not a rebuild because they were a 9-win team. They're not in the bottom of the league, but you are clearly telling everybody, all right, we're retooling at the very least. That's why right now we're choosing to move on from Pete Carroll. Instead of starting over when we hit rock bottom, we're going to start over right now. And what better way than to say, you know what? We're also taking a quarterback here in the first round, and you wouldn't have to start him right away. You got options there. Take the kid in the late first round if you want to move down, and you don't have to throw him out there right away. That feels like a decent situation to me.
I like Michael Penix to Seattle if that's what happens, right? If they end up going ahead and making that move, I think that's really cool. They've got the former offensive coordinator from the University of Washington. He's there in Seattle as well, so you can put the stars together, right? The dots connect as far as I'm concerned. We'll see what Seattle does. We'll see if Michael Penix is available when Seattle is on the board. He's Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers. Sometimes when you win, you actually really lose. Sometimes you lose, you really win. Well, the Timberwolves, they won tonight, but did they really lose? We'll find out next here on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80.
The madness is coming.
We are ready.
Bubbles bursting, brackets breaking,
Half court, toward the right.
and Cinderella dancing. The madness.
There's nothing better. It's the best sporting event of the year.
Continuing coverage right here on ESPN Radio.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as, that's 888-665-0696.
The Pack Therapy Podcast is in session. Tim Donnelly here, host of The Drive and your guide for Pack Therapy. Every episode is your chance to score inside information on the Pack. We set you up for Wolfpack games all season long, and we break down the ACC competition, what to watch for as we roll towards the tournament madness, plus special guests to keep your Wolfpack hope alive. Follow Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch it on YouTube.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, this is Creighton Blackwell from Coastal Credit Union, here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month. We are here at South Garner High School, where we're going to celebrate the next Scholar Athlete, Patience Ifedan.
Patience has been an awesome addition to our women's basketball team. Patience has been playing since her freshman year. So to be a year-round athlete and to have a 3.9 GPA, it takes a lot of dedication and hard work. I just never forget why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing, why I'm a student athlete, and why I play basketball. And she's a leader, very much a leader on this team, and she plays a very important role in all our lives.
She'll tell you the truth of what you do wrong, but she'll make it sound nice. She won't try to make it sound mean.
My teammates, they showed me stuff that I didn't even know about myself, and they push me to be great every day. I mean, obviously I do the same for them. And my coach, she's been everything to me. My mom calls her my godmother, but I don't know about that yet. We'll work on that. But she's been everything to me. She's made me a better person, and she's just grown my game to a whole nother level.
Congratulations, Patience.
Thank you.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
Listen wherever you get good podcasts.
With Jonathan Zaslow and Q Myers, it's Game Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance, insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
NBA update.
Potential finals preview. We've been monitoring this evening. The Denver Nuggets at halftime are up 62-54 over the Boston Celtics, Zaz.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic looking like another triple-double kind of night for him. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Jamal Murray's also in double figures with 13. Jaylen Brown got off to the hot start tonight. He has 22 to lead everybody. He's already shot in 17 field goals. He's 9 for 17. Porzingis has 10. Jason Tatum, very slow start. Only 8 points. He's 3 of 6 from the floor. So you got the Nuggets kind of I feel like I feel like both teams have the chance to make a little bit of a statement. I mean, I get it. It's the first week of March. These two teams, they have much bigger aspirations than winning, what are we talking, game number 62, 63 on the season. But this is one of those games that people are going to notice who winds up winning.
Right. I mean, this is something that people are paying attention to, right? This is the game that folks wanted to watch. I mean, they saw it on the schedule and realized that it's a potential finals preview, and why not get up for these games? I mean, even like last night when the Warriors got up for the Milwaukee Bucks after getting the break speed off them by Boston, they got up for the Bucks knowing, the expectations for Milwaukee. There's just certain games, where you want to put your best foot forward. And so this is a really good one. It's close. You said Jason Tatum to start off slow. What does that mean? That means in the second half, watch out. Right? I mean, because special players usually have special moments and don't allow big games like this to get away without them having their name be heard and making an impact on the game. So I expect Jason Tatum in the second half to step up and have a big half. But again, right now, Denver leads 62-54 at halftime. Nuggets and Celtics. Again, it's Game Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting Karl Anthony Towns will have surgery to repair his torn meniscus and will be reevaluated in a month.
Man, Karl Anthony Towns, the way he spreads the floor, he is one of the best shooters in the entire league. And if they don't have Karl Anthony Towns for that first round, there may not be a second round this season for Minnesota.
When you talk about the success and the future of this team, if Karl Anthony Towns is not in it, we're looking at a whole different picture here. That'd be like going to the Clippers and taking Paul George or Damian Lillard off the Bucks.
So this evening, Minnesota gets the 113-111 victory. The Ant-Man goes for 44, and the Ant-Man might have to have nights where he goes for 44 more times than not, as we find out that the big cat, he's going to have surgery. He's going to be reevaluated in about a month, right around the start of the playoffs, to see if he's available for the playoffs. But as the Timberwolves won the game, they could have possibly lost in the long run when it comes to the big cat being out.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of scorers now outside of Edwards with Towns out. They got nice role players, all right? Naz Reid, Kyle Anderson. But Mike Conley's a role player at this point in his career. And by losing Karl Anthony Towns, it's not like you can look at Gobert. Gobert doesn't take any shots that are outside of 4 feet, all right? He is not an offense. He's got absolutely zero offensive game. And still, it's true. And still tonight, he scored 18 points. Like, that's